What's up, guys? Aljamain Sterling versus Youssef Zalal just wrapped up, and now, while I am going to cover the entire main card, I know that's a bit of an oxymoron to say the entire main card, but even though I'm going to cover this entire main card, all 6 fights, as there were some pretty good ones, this main event, Zalal versus Sterling, this was one of my favorite fights this year. I know we're only, 4.5, 5 months into the year, but this was one of the most exciting fights I've seen this year, so I definitely want to cover it specifically before I do the main card breakdown. Now, let's just get right into it. First round, Aljo, he's throwing these wide kicks that had me nervous. I mean, he was throwing these kicks that were leaving him off balance with the right leg. I was nervous that Zalal may shoot a takedown or rush into the pocket and then take advantage of Aljamain being on his back foot, off balance, and then go and, unleash a barrage on him. That was not the case. Youssef Zalal, he was keeping the distance. He did not capitalize on Aljo being off balance. Aljo, he did shoot a takedown that ultimately went nowhere, stayed on the feet, but that was clearly not a sign of things to come. Aljo dominated this match in the wrestling. There were moments where Yusuf's definitely had there were some submission threats, but he definitely didn't get anything out of that. So in the first round, after the takedown attempt that went nowhere, Aljo had a big kick where Youssef Zalal, he went to kick with his right leg, had the left leg planted, and Aljo kicked it out from under him. Youssef falls, and then Aljo capitalized. He rushed Zalal, I almost said Bilal, rushed Zalal, got into side control. Youssef, he ended up, sorry, he went from guard to side control, from Youssef's guard to side control, and then back into Youssef's guard. Youssef, he was going for like an armbar slash triangle attempt. I mean, the armbar looked more like he was going for that. However, the announcers were saying that Aljamain had to watch out for that triangle. The triangle was, the threat was there. I personally thought the right arm was trapped more than it looked like. Like that looked more damning to me than the actual triangle attempt. But regardless, Aljo, he passed the guard. He gets into north south, wraps up round one, throwing these decent knees to Zalal's side. Round ends there. I would say it's a 10-9, or sorry, yeah, 10-9 round for Aljo. He, I don't know the exact stats for strikes in that round, but he had one takedown attempt. He got Zalal, kicked his legs out from under him, you know, dodged the submission threat, passed the guard, got to north south, and was throwing strikes before the round ended. So round one definitely went to Zalal. Round two, they started out trading at range. Both these guys, I know, kept their hands real low. It's kind of pissing me off. There were some moments where I was like, all right, this is Aljo's fight to win. I could see some bullshit happening where Youssef throws a nice, overhand, drops Aljo. Because there was a few moments, man, where I was nervous because Aljo's kept his hands too low. I mean, both these guys did, but Aljo was definitely more guilty of keeping his hands down than Zalal. But um, both these guys, they had their hands down too much for my liking. Aljo, he took the back in they were in the pocket trading. Aljo ended up taking the back, takes Zalal to the ground, gets him in a body triangle, ground and pound to end round two. Now this was another round like round one where Aljo dominated in the wrestling. This time more so. He was not in Yusuf's guard at all, and he did end the round again, ground and pound. The first time it was with the knees. This time it was with actual strikes. Hammer fists. Had the body lock, so the body triangle, so he had more control over Zalal. Definitely displayed, amazing wrestling. Aljo, he's definitely one of the more underrated grapplers in the UFC, in my opinion. Obviously, big names like Islam, um, Hamzat, of course, Merab come up constantly, but Aljo, his name doesn't come up nearly as much as I'd like. Showed a lot of great wrestling in this fight. Aljo, round three, he picked up the pace. He went in there, slammed Youssef. He picked him up, slammed him. Youssef, he attempted the guillotine. Jumped the ghillie. Aljo, he escaped. I mean, there was a moment where the announcers were saying, like, DC, the classic Joe Rogan line of, "Oh, that's tight, that's tight." But Aljo, he pushed off Yusuf's left leg. He prevented him from, wrapping his legs around, push off the left leg. He got out of that guillotine attempt. He did get into Yusuf's guard. Yusuf did, you know, he did definitely pull guard from there. He attempted a triangle. Um, sorry. Aljo escaped, and then he gets on his back, pulls guard, attempts a triangle over Zalal. Zalal, he escaped, and then he took Aljo's back for the end of round 3. He had Aljo's back, but he wasn't able to get anything out of it. He definitely had more control time in this round. I think he had 2 minutes of control time in round 3, but by that point, he could not get the submission, so there was nothing really to be done there. Round 4, Aljo flew like a bat out of hell. Came out there, 3 calf kicks, took Zalal's back, body triangle, attempted the rear naked choke. Now this round was interesting, round 4, because he had one arm around Zalal's neck and then the other arm, rather than, put it behind his head and then go for the full rear naked choke, he was throwing like these, punches from the side to the side of the face where it looked like he was playing with Zalal. Pause. It looked like he was playing with Zalal rather than just going for the kill, which the announcers also said was weird, and I don't understand why. I mean, I don't know if he was trying to. Maybe he felt something that myself, the announcers, didn't see or feel. He knew he couldn't lock it up. Maybe he just wanted to show off. Maybe he wanted to extend the fight. Who knows? Maybe he, wanted to try and get a finish win via TKO or KO. Not sure exactly, but he was in a prime position for a rear naked choke. Did not sink it. Did not, use both arms for whatever reason. Only used the left arm if I'm not mistaken. But from there, got over to mount, ground and pound. Zalal escaped. Round ends. Saved by the bell. Round five. Zalal, he was told by his corner that he was down. He needed the finish to win. He could not do it. I mean, there was a moment at the start where it looked like he had some pop. It looked like he may not necessarily win by finish, not come back, but he was trading on the feet, and there was definitely some worry that he may be able to do something. That was not the case. Aljo shot another takedown, controlled Zalal for the entire fight, the remainder of the fight rather, and honestly most of the fight in general. Ground and pound, no real submission threats. Maneuvering through a few things, switching positions from taking the back to side control, mount, etc. There was a moment where Zalal was standing up and Aljo had him locked up from behind, and he was doing some crowd work, cheering to the crowd, laughing, sticking his tongue out. Aljo, this was definitely a great fight. Glad he got the win at featherweight. Coming off of his loss to Evloev. Called out Volkanovski, said his classic line that everyone made fun of him for about "I'm coming on that ass." Pause. This time he said no pause, no diddy. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Aljo, I don't know if he does get the Volk fight after Volk fights Evloev. Not sure. If he has to fight someone else, I understand. If he does, I think he should fight John Silva. I think that'd be a decent fight for him. No point in him fighting Evloev. No point in him fighting who else? I mean, former champion at bantamweight, that moves up, has a close fight with Evloev, very close fight with Evloev, who is undefeated, fighting for the belt, more than likely. Hopefully he's fighting over Silva. Aljo, I don't see him fighting. I don't think he needs to fight Diego Lopez. I don't think he needs to fight Lerone Murphy. If you are going to make him fight someone else, it should be John Silva, in my opinion. That being said, this was a great fight. One of the most entertaining this year, in my opinion. The only thing that bothered me was Aljo, one, he kept his hands down a lot, especially in round 2. That made me nervous. Both these guys did, but Aljo was much worse about it. That's one. And then 2, in round 3 or 4, let me see. It was round 4. Round 4, he had the rear naked choke attempt right there. Did not go for it for whatever reason. I thought that was very strange. The announcers felt the same, I believe. So, other than that, entertaining fight. Glad he got the win. And I don't know about you guys, but I love the Aljo and Merab duo, man. These guys seem legitimately happy for each other. I know some people said it was kind of fake. They said Merab likes Aljo more, and Aljo's kind of just, he doesn't want to fight Merab, at least in bantamweight, because he knew he would lose. Whatever. That's all speculation, theory, whatever. I love this duo, man. These guys support each other like crazy. You could tell Merab really wanted Aljo to win. They both seem like good dudes, so let me know what you guys think about this fight, the card in general. I'm going to cover the main card tomorrow. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.